Good morning. In the first portion of Genesis 42, we see a huge need for survival. There is extreme famine in the world, and everyone was looking for food. They were looking for grain. Jacob learned about the grain available in Egypt, and he said to his sons, hey, stop standing around looking at each other and go and get us some food so that we won't die. Make yourselves useful. That's my paraphrase there. So 10 brothers make the journey to Egypt for food. But Jacob did not permit his youngest, Benjamin, to go. I wonder why. Well, if you remember, the last time we see the brothers go out and a younger brother went with them, Joseph, he does not return. Back in Genesis 37, he is sold into slavery by his own brothers because of their disdain for him. And Jacob is unaware that that actually happened. Now he is told, as you remember, he is told by the brothers, his own sons, that Joseph is dead. And it makes sense that Jacob would not want the same fate for Benjamin. It's very sad that Jacob has been led to believe that his son Joseph is dead. When we seek to cover sin like his sons did, it can have deep and lasting pain in the lives of others. It can impact our future. It can impact our families, our own well-being, and the well-being of those around us. And we should remember that when we are tempted to cover things up rather than fess up about sin. Meanwhile, we see that God is always telling one story, but using many different threads to weave together something glorifying to himself. And in Egypt, God is using Joseph as he gains greater position, more power, and prominence. He administrated food stores for Egypt and the entire world in their time of crisis here during the famine. Now, in this chapter, these same brothers who had sold Joseph into slavery are coming to him for help, bowing down to him in Egypt. Does that sound familiar? Well, it should, and Joseph certainly thought so. His dream from chapter 37, his dreams had come true. His older brothers were bowing down to him in their time of need. They were at his mercy. They didn't recognize Joseph. They didn't know who he was, but Joseph knew who they were. And it's just a reminder that when God ordains something to take place, it will come to pass, no matter what happens during the in-between. Even in the most dire of circumstances, God will still come through with his plan and his weaving together of these threads for his glory, like I mentioned. So Joseph accuses them of being spies to test them and draw out more information from them. And he's curious here, as we all are, as we read this. Are they the same unrepentant brothers, or have they changed? Through questioning and putting them in custody, the brothers see their own guilt in how they treated Joseph some 20 years earlier when they sold him into slavery and lied to their father about it. They had ignored his cries for help in the past, and now their cries had seemingly gone unanswered as well, as they pleaded with Joseph for grain and that they weren't spies and they meant no harm. But we do reap what we sow, right? Remember, God is still faithful and in control. Even in this situation, we're seeing the workings of their sin in the past here coming back to them. But God is working something out. And Joseph here, he offers to release all of them except for one as collateral so that they can return home and bring their youngest brother, Benjamin, to Joseph so that their story that they've been telling him might be verified, and only then would their lives be spared. And the brothers are convinced that they are experiencing all this distress because of what they did to Joseph. Reuben even says, I told you guys so. I told you this would happen. So what is Joseph up to with all this? Why would he want to meet Benjamin? And as we read, we'll see the story unfold as we continue next time, and we'll see you then.